quick. Hey,
And we're on live. Go ahead, Ryan. It's all you.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, everybody, to episode 55 of the Red Man Group. On panel today, we got Donovan, we got John, we got Rollo, we got fucking the Dean, the Mr. Williams, whatever. Dean, I'm really bad at your nickname, man. Help me out here.
Sir, it's Steve the Dean Williams, sir.
Steve the Dean. Dude, I keep screwing that one up. I apologize for that one profusely. The topic for today is borderline personality disorder real. We're going to start this off with some panel updates and then get to the meat of the content. Donnie, lead us off, man. What do you got on the go?
Yeah, man. Had another good week of shows. Monday, I talked about 8 super undercover signs your woman is cheating on you they probably never thought of, like getting tattoos or piercings to punish herself for cheating. I actually had one woman who had long blonde hair, cut it and dye it blonde. One woman got a tramp stamp, and it was her first tattoo. I actually had a conversation with a woman who cheated on her husband and got a Skrillex haircut, and she said the reason she did it is because she felt guilty and wanted to punish herself somehow. Other undercover signs of cheating are things like using phrases and words she doesn't normally use, suddenly changing interest, things of that nature. The reason this applies is that if you're not the most dominant man in your woman's life, if you are the most dominant man in your woman's life, she will subconsciously adopt your mannerisms, your expressions, your interests, your belief system, and so forth.
I really like that one, man. That was good. That was a really good topic.
It really was. And again, women don't have a belief system. They only believe what the strongest men believe. So if your woman all of a sudden decides that she likes country music or she starts watching motorcycle documentaries, then the guy or guys that she's fucking are either country music fans, motorcycle junkies, or both. I had Ryan on Tuesday night to talk about why men continue to get married even though they know the risks and the horror stories involved with modern day marriage. Wednesday, I talked about the difference between trying to buy a female's affection and loyalty versus investing in a woman for the long term. In Urban Dictionary terms, that's tricking versus providing. And Thursday, of course, I had Rush on, which was a very good conversation, which was also very, very interesting. So a great week of shows. If you guys want to watch them, go to donovansharp.com.
Fucking awesome. All right, John, your turn, buddy. What's it like over there in Japan today?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night. I've had a wonderful day. And February 28th, my body language course is coming out. It's going to be available for 5 days. This is where you're going to be able to increase your closing rate. And it's only going to be available for 5 days to interpret female body language. February 28th, March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd, March 4th, and then game over. You can check me out.
I'm actually going to help promote that for Jonathan. I'm going to have the link on my website as well as my mobile app. So just to throw that in there.
And then if you want to check in for my daily show every day, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, search right here, Modern Life Dating, Interview with a Man, my daily live show. Guys in the chat can hit 1 if they like it because I know they're all here. Thanks. That's all I got to say. Body Language Mastery, February 28th. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Rollo, this is the man everybody wants to know.
Oh, geez. Me? All right.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. What have I been doing? I did, what I do? I did Pat's show yesterday, which actually turned out to be a very good show. It's Pat Campbell. I do his terrestrial radio show every Friday morning at 9:05 Eastern time, very crack of dawn, early Pacific time. Gosh, we talked about last week I had to fly solo on my own channel. Usually we do Red Pill 101 also on Sundays, 4:30 Eastern, if you guys are interested in that. Actually last week I talked about that video of what was it, the Netflix show. There's a new Netflix show called Dating Around. And I think it's just basically sort of this analysis. I mean, it's a reality show almost, but it's Netflix doing it, and it's a little bit different. They kind of follow around like people on dates and stuff. And there was a really interesting one between this guy. I think both these people were like in their early 30s, and it was this guy who was dating this. I think she was Indian. Like from India, and she was she's a naturalized citizen, of course, but like she had been divorced after like 8 years of marriage, and the guy was just this abject beta. So I don't know if you guys want to check that out. I sort of tore that down, and then I also did that with Pat, because Pat really wanted to do that, and it ended up becoming a really, really good show and really good analysis. I think a lot of people really enjoyed that because I sort of did a play-by-play of what was going on, or the interaction between the guy and the girl. And I think that helped a lot of people to sort of see things going like in real time or live. I still work on the book. If you guys are interested in helping me out in any way, it is a book on religion and the red pill. I am kind of going back through some of my introductory chapters right now, because every time I write, I hate to do this, but I have a really bad habit of like going back and proofing things rather than just like barreling through the first draft. So I'll go back and I'll look at things, because I'll be in the middle of a conversation and it will change my way of thinking about what I'm doing with a previous chapter. So sometimes I'll go and do that. So if anybody is interested in throwing me a bone or whatever, when it comes to religion or your culture or whatever it is, I'm always open to that. You can find my email address in the description. And that's about it. That's after this show, I'm gonna go jump on my sled for the first time. We actually have a sunny day and there's no clouds in the sky. So and we've probably got about 14 feet of snow here. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Wow,
Sweet
are
Jesus.
you kidding me?
Yep. It's
Oh,
like
man.
in Tahoe, it's like driving in tunnels right now.
Fuck, dude, I'm glad I got the fuck out of Reno then.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Steve, the Dean, man, hook us up. What do you got on the go?
Just the same old things, guys. On Tuesday we have live radio shows. After this show's over, Donovan, myself, Jonathan, and any of y'all guests go to. We're doing an after party. Donovan, I think it's called after party, after show.
Yeah, that's yeah. Again, that's not going to happen today, because I actually have.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got an interview with Devin, so that's not going to happen today, but it'll happen.
Oh, interviewing Devin. Okay. All right. Well, then other than that,
Annual performance review.
Yeah, right, for real. Other than that, I just want to say, only thing I just did basically is added a great testimonial on my website from a guy that used to be what we call a loser, just a guy who didn't have any confidence. And last week he pulled 6 women in a week. One he had sex with, one sent him nude photos. One had a man, left her man to go spend time with him. He pulled a 25-year-old in the grocery store and met a mixed chick, and he had one that was just 50-50. So I posted that on the website. So I'm real proud of that guy. So that's the only thing that's going on with me. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, don't even sell that short. Watching guys unfuck their lives is probably the most rewarding part of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we'll end off on me. Definitely not as exciting as you guys, but I'll do what I can here. First off, I remember I gave a shout out to other guys. If they wanted some juice in this space, any red pill Manosphere type guy, reach out to me. Talked with Delicious Tacos and his new book, Finally Some Good News. I loved his book, The Pussy. And the Finally Some Good News is like Fight Club for pickup artists. I don't know how else to describe it. It's worth the read if you guys get a chance to see it. So giving him some love on that. He absolutely hates marketing, so I'm doing it for him. For me, on my channel, I just released a new technique video as well as red pill techniques. It's a little bit more meta, and the complaint people got was that I don't explain the absolute entirety of Rollo's book before I get into it, but I'm assuming some knowledge from it. Either way, it's good. It shows guys how to use techniques to cook properly, as well as using red pill techniques to fuck and live life properly. The 2017 me coming out of the closet as a red pill misogynist asshole speech is live.
Yeah.
Anthony just released that. It came out to the Married Red Pill, the Red Pill, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere to polarizing reviews. I'll just leave it like that. And the big change is on Patreon. So the subscribers are starting to get fairly big, and I'm not going to lie, I feel kind of overwhelmed from the guys' support. So what I'm doing now is when I finish my first draft of blog posts, I don't seem to have the problem as Rollo, but then again, my writing's not as big, where I can just write something out, not look at it for a day or two, then come back to it. So I'm giving those guys the first draft of these posts before I start putting them out, as well as releasing Redman recaps. So it turns out people only watch about 20 minutes at a time of them. So I'm carving them up into bite-sized chunks. The one that Carl and I just did last week is being released. I just did the first one yesterday, just rendered the next one today, and then tomorrow I'll have one too. So eventually you're going to have 4 days a week of watching my stupid mug staring at you, telling you about how to be a man or some dumb crap like that. But that's it for this. Now we're going to get back to the topic. The whole reason you guys actually showed up. Borderline personality disorder. You can call it manic depressive. You can call it bipolar or bipolar. You can call it what you want. This spawned off from Donnie. He's going to have a video for you guys showing. You know what? Just switch to the tape. I can't explain it.
Let's do it. This is looks like it's about 5 minutes and 47 seconds long. And that might seem long. You guys can let me know when to, because I don't have my chat up on the screen now. But this is a very quick watch. It's a very short 5:47 because of what we're about to see. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and just let me know in the chat. Hey, we've seen enough, and I'll go ahead and cut the feed. All right, here we go.
I got burnt there. My scars tell a story. That's a stab wound there. When the police found me, I was told I was 10 days away from death. She was very caring, confident, loving. She just showed a real interest in me.
Where's Alex? Just when I saw everything happen. So what you were doing? I was holding a knife.
We arrived, she straight away said, oh, there's been a problem. Alex has hurt himself. At the top of the stairs, Alex was sat with a towel wrapped around his arm, just blood everywhere.
Oh,
when we questioned it, they were both quite sort of calm and rational and explained that, yeah, you know, Alex has this long-standing history of self-harm.
It's strange because the whole thing was the right time at the right place, but I didn't say anything.
The longer they were together and how the relationship grew, the mind game started playing.
It just a penny dropped. And I thought, she's just not right. Everyone is right. I'm going to go. That's it. I'm done.
Out of the blue, she got his friends to go and pick her up, to bring her here, to tell her she was pregnant. I said to Alex, you don't have to be with her, but you need to stand by her.
So that's fine. I don't mind paying my way. But I was thinking, I can't be with you. And then I didn't hear from her for a year.
I got this text to say, are you willing to meet your grandson? And it was like, yes.
I was happy and I thought, I'm there for my son and we're going to be a family.
And then the cracks started coming. I said I wasn't happy with these mind games starting again. I thought we'd gone past that. I said, we're not having it. So she packed all of TJ's stuff up and she told Alex he was to choose.
It was definitely TJ. I didn't want to not see him. So I literally just moved out and that was the last time I went home.
Would you say at any point you have made it difficult for him to see his friends or family?
No. He made it very clear he didn't want to see any of his family.
She changed my phone. I got a new phone and phone number. She got rid of the PlayStation because it was a form of contact to like people I knew.
He was only 19 when he went away and I never saw Alex for 2 years.
Dude, this bitch was crazy.
We decided that we would try for another child.
And then straight away, we found out she was pregnant. And I thought, well, that's like amazing. But then everything just gradually got worse and worse and worse.
He states if you missed a night of hitting him, you would then make up for it the next night.
She started to use knives.
I only ever cut him, I never stabbed him.
She said, you're not allowed to sleep in the bed. So I slept on the floor.
Yeah, that's
what?
Very true. Me and TJ sleep in the bed.
I remember waking up in the morning to boiling water being poured on my back.
He says that he's told to make a story up to tell your parents that the shower in the hotel was faulty.
I wasn't eating properly. She didn't let me.
Sometimes he said, oh, can we cook pasta? And I'll say no because I'm not hungry.
I didn't want TJ to get hurt, so I was fighting to keep going because I didn't know what was going to happen if I was to leave. I was looking forward to it for a reason. It could change her from doing all the stuff she's doing to me, but that lasted about 3 days.
We got a 999 call for a domestic disturbance between a man and a woman, called in by neighbours.
She had a bread knife on her. She went to go at my head, like here, so I went like that.
We arrived and Alex and Jordan were both telling us that he'd used that knife to cut his wrists, basically. It didn't appear that there'd been any incident at all between them. It's certainly not how it came across. We left. Alex went to hospital.
We were just shouting and arguing. And the next thing, the door knocks and there's a police car outside and I opened the door and it was Ed standing there.
This is what I think it is. This is he's been abused.
So what, Alex, you want to come and have a chat with me? We'll go upstairs. Are you alright down here for a minute, Jordan, yeah? If you've been assaulted or anything like that? No, not assault, nothing. It's just an argument.
Even in the house, he was not budging on his story at all. And I thought, I need to get him out of this environment.
Grab a jacket and some shoes, mate, whatever you got, wallet, whatever.
So, mate, are you coming back here tonight? For me, and
He sat me in the police car and he said, right, we're not leaving it until you tell me the truth. And I still said, no, I'm doing this all to myself.
I turned my camera off and I said to him, look, my camera's off. It's just you and me in this car.
Straight away, I just said it. And I said, please just go on what the neighbours have said, because I don't want to say that it's come from me.
He just quite calmly said to me, yes, it was her.
I just need to explain to you that at the moment you're under arrest on suspicion of assault, occasioning grievous bodily harm.
How do you feel today about moving forward? What are your thoughts and feelings at the moment?
I just don't want to get hurt anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Now that I'm free from the relationship, I'm beginning to understand abuse better. And I hope I can help others understand it too. And I'm building a future for me and my kids.
All right, that's it.
There you go.
Yeah, that's some that's a story and a half. Roll, lead us off here.
Yeah, I
anchor
was
this
gonna say,
conversation.
well, okay, so after I had seen this, like I don't know who it was, but for whatever reason, last Saturday, I had a lot of requests to sort of review, I guess, borderline personality disorder, and then this thing came out, and I think this story is what prompted all of that. We have done borderline personality disorder on this show before. We've talked about Anthony's ex-wife, Medusa, whatever, and I don't think we kind of did it justice on that one show. So there was that kind of. I think we need to be a little bit more thorough here, and I thought this was a really good example of that. There's a few things that are going on here, and I'm taking notes as I go about this, but this follows a pattern that I've written about for a very long time, because I'm personally myself, I was involved with a borderline personality disorder girl back in my 20s. And people want to say, well, she's not really borderline personality. Like, I think it was Andrew Tate was saying something to the effect of, well, all women are just crazy. Right. So where does the all women are crazy end and borderline personality begin? And so the conversation I wanted to sort of start off with here is, you have to understand, like, people are going to see this and they're going to go, well, that's just her. She's just whacked. Right. So it's an isolated one person incident. Right. Whereas if I'm looking at this from my perspective, I'm seeing all of the same hallmarks of a borderline personality disorder here. Now, the first thing that she does is she comes off, like he says this in the beginning, she comes off as very caring and confident, right? Like, she wants him in her life, and she's, in the beginning, at least when you see her in those pictures from when they first got together, she's not a bad looking girl, right? I mean, she looks all right. Okay. One of the things that happens with beta guys is they think their ship has come in when they see a borderline personality disorder girl come into their lives. They see a good looking girl and she comes in and she's, and again, the sex is almost always crazy good. Okay. That's what keeps the guy locked in. And the guy is like, he's never had that in his life before. He's never had that hot a chick. He's never had that, that degree of what he thinks is genuine desire. Like, she's really into it, and maybe she's got something a little bit wrong with her. Maybe she's had like some kind of abuse in her own life as well. Of course, she'll be happy to harp on that later on, but it's something that I think that borderline personality disorder in women is something that really draws in the beta male blue pill mindset. Because guys want to be that savior, right? They want, oh, it's okay. I don't care if you had a sexual abuse in your past. I'm going to be here to say, I'm going to be the guy that your dad never was. I'm going to be the guy that that's going to treat you right, baby. I mean, the blue pill mindset is already in a qualification mode anyways, right? It's like, I'm going to prove my quality to you. And so the guy thinks he's getting rewarded for that because she's crazy in sex with him and crazy in love with him, and draws him into her neurosis. And so what happens then is, I mean, you look at how long this whole thing's been going on. They started seeing each other in 2012. It is now 2019. That's 7 years of this guy's life. Yeah. 7 years of this guy's life.
We were talking about this with Steve offline. Steve, you want to repeat what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, well, I think the bitch is. I deal with it as a crazy bitch at the end of the day. But what you see here is what I always try to tell you guys. I'm not blaming the woman here. I can't blame the woman for anything that she did to this guy. I'm blaming him. This guy comes off, and I wrote it off. She did this to me. She did that to me. Like he's a fucking victim. Excuse my language. This shit, because this is how pisses me off, man. I can't stand you guys out there when you don't have a self-definition of who you are, no self-concept, you don't have any principles, laws, rules, codes, or narratives. You allow these women to walk into your life and treat you like bitches. I can't get mad at her because she beat him up. He didn't have a dad, okay? And then what happened was he rewarded her bad behavior by having another kid with her. The thing that I always say about this stuff is this. The bottom line is this, guys. She would never do that shit at her job to the CEO or president of her job. You know why? Because she knows she'd get her ass fired. The problem with you men is y'all make everything about pussy and don't make it about yourselves. And then what happens is whatever you put in front of you, you worship. He was worshiping this chick for 7 goddamn years, and she didn't respect him. Women don't respect weakness. She treated him like a bitch because she saw him as a bitch. That's all I want to say so far.
Damn, Donnie.
No, I mean, I thought John was up next.
Oh, yeah, sorry, John.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it, Jonathan.
I'm just going to double down on what Steve says. That kid, look, I'm sorry. This is going to hurt some people's feelings. That kid is a complete fucking pussy. All right. And look, it didn't start with her pouring boiling water on him. It started with her not texting him back right away and then missing a couple calls and then showing up late. And then he said something, why aren't you here? She's like, because I didn't feel like it. Okay. You see, women and children are very similar. They'll test their limits with you. And this guy kept taking it and taking it and taking it. He had no self-respect. He had no boundaries. And the next thing you know, this bitch is pouring hot water on him. Let me tell you, if bitch poured hot water on me, I would also be on a fucking show for like, Mr. Jonathan went to prison for cutting this bitch's head off. Like, pour boiling water on me when I'm sleeping? Are you kidding me? Like, man, woman, I don't care who you are. I'm going to put your fucking head through the goddamn wall. This kid had no self-respect. I think he was raised without a father. And honestly, that's what girls do. They make these incremental disrespecting things after you. That's why you got to nip it in the bud as soon as it starts. Same thing as you're training a dog or if you're training children. Yeah. As soon as they start disrespecting or acting out of line, you got to nip it in the bud or it's going to spread like cancer.
Yeah, I'm going to triple down with Steve and Jonathan. I am 1,000% in agreement. Here's why. Women only treat you how you allow them to, okay? If you let a woman get away with doing foul shit to you, guess what that woman's going to do? She's going to do foul shit to you. It is my assertion that when you are dealing with a woman sexually, you reward the good behavior, you punish the bad behavior. Now, those are not created equal. Here's how this works. You reward good behavior, I would say between 60 and 70% of the time. You punish bad behavior 147,000% of the time. Do not let her get away with anything. And here's something else. This was the perfect storm. She was a BPD chick, and this dude was ripe for the picking. And you want to know something? She smelled it on his ass the day she met him. Listen, women smell the weakness on you and in you. Women know when you are a spineless, poor excuse of a man. Look, do you think any of these women would try any of that stuff on this panel? Fuck no, my ass will be in jail for at least 72 hours for knocking a bitch's fucking head off. Well, why'd you crack her orbital bone, Donovan? Because she fucking came at me with a knife, officer. Well, you're under arrest. All right, guess what? I guess she's not going to do that anymore. I agree with Jonathan 100% when he talks about comparing it to dogs. Dogs can, when you meet a dog out in the street, dogs smell fear. They smell lack of confidence. Women are a lot of things. Stupid isn't one of them. She preyed on this guy because she could see and she could smell it on him. That's why this happened over a 7-year period. Like I said before, women only do what you allow them to do to you. I don't blame her. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, she was crazy. Listen, there's way too much information out there about how crazy women are for men not to understand what's going on. Even if there was something wrong with him, the very first time she took a knife to you or did something fucked up, he should have been the fuck up out of there. But because his ass is weak and probably didn't grow up with a father, he stayed there and endured that abuse for 7 fucking years. So he lost 7 years of his life. She'll probably be out in 10 to 12.
See, it's funny when you hear all you guys with your answers, and they're all, if I can get the theme correct, it's you're very angry at the guy for not putting his balls back, but it's coming from a place of love, which is really nice.
Right.
Like you're mad. It's the same way a dad would chastise his kid for losing a fight at school, not because he got into one. But I'll get into the definitions then. And this is something Rollo, John, and I all talked about offline beforehand, was that from Tristan Tate, where he talks about it not being real. So this is going to be a question again. I'm going to hand it off to Rollo to get us started on this one. The bipolar disorder definition by the book, it's known as manic depressive illness, a brain disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity levels, and the ability to carry day-to-day tasks. And it's such a weird, vague definition. I had to ask and follow through on Tate's question. When we say, is BBT real? Like, what is BBD?
BPD. Well, okay.
It's a tongue twister, man.
All right, I know, and it's really confusing too. Okay, bipolar disorder is different than borderline personality disorder. Let's.
Did I do that again?
Yeah, let's just clear that up. The first thing I get why everybody says, because we want to say, well, if I was me in that situation, then I would have slapped the bitch and been done, right? Okay, I get that. In fact, that's one of the reasons I wanted to have this conversation here, is because, is she really BPD? Is she just one example of how bad women have gotten over the course of the last, say, like 2 decades, 3 decades, right? Do all women have the potential to cut you? Do all women have the potential to pour boiling water over you if you're a bitch? Do all women have the capacity to isolate you from your family, to use your children as a bargaining chip to keep you away from them? You either choose me or you choose your kids, and we're going to get rid of that PlayStation because that's a way of you communicating with your friends. We're going to cut you off from everything else. Is that something that all women have the potential for, or is that just something that is unique to borderline personality disorder? This is where I have to kind of draw the line. Yes, I 100% agree with everything you guys are saying, because not what we see, like at least 80% of guys today are blue pill. They're betas. They're blue pill. They're probably these guys who could, if things got really bad, get into the same position as this guy Alex did. Okay, the potential is there. But order of degrees. Okay, some guys are going to have a little bit more self-esteem than other guys are. But the thing is like, we teach our boys we teach them as if they're defective girls, right? We teach them that they should emote more, that they should be more deferential to women, that we should support women, that they should, you got to be there for your kid, right? I mean, that's one of the things that they said in the book, in this video. Is like, the guy wanted to be there. He was afraid that she was going to hurt the children, and so he went along with everything. He's sleeping on the floor. I mean, the guy was basically turned into like a prisoner of war, more or less, is what he was turned into. Now, could he have stood up? Could he have done? Yeah, sure. Okay, of course he can. But remember, hasn't, like you guys were saying, probably didn't have a father, probably didn't have anybody to teach him any kind of like masculine discipline. And we don't do that with our kids in general today, right now. So when we see somebody like Nicholas Cruz goes and shoots up a high school right now, we go, oh, where's the father? How come the father wasn't around, right? Okay, well, you have to understand that that's part, maybe the father not being involved in that kid's life is part of that. The other part is that we live in a feminine primary society that's teaching these kids, or teaching these boys, that they should be deferential to women, that they should be the kind of guy who has the potential to be this guy, Alex Skeel. Okay. So the real question here, I think, is this a case of a genuine borderline personality disorder? Because like Tate was saying this, he's like, he doesn't believe that, he thinks like in the Manosphere, we like rely too much on diagnosing a woman with borderline personality disorder when she's just a unruly chick who's never had the pimp hand. She's never had a guy in her life that has put some sort of masculine dominance or masculine discipline on her, and so she's had a series of guys who've let her get away with things and get away with things and get away with things until she becomes just like this guy's wife or the mother of his children. Right.
Well, that's a good question on that one
so
too. Like,
where
Steve,
is that go? Yeah,
Steve, you got experience with this for your guys. Have you your testimonial? The guy who eventually laid the bitch hand or the pimp hand on life, pulled it together. Did he talk about girls like this before and afterwards they started acting right?
Yeah, you know what, Roll, I was bowing. I love what you were saying. That shit got me on fire. I love that shit, Rolo. See, let me tell y'all something. Rolo was on point. This is why I don't believe in it. Because the thing is that a lot of guys have this ABC mindset. If A does it to B, then A is going to do it to C. And this is why I totally disagree with that. Because the fact is, he allowed it to happen. See, a lot of guys allow this behavior to happen. These women know this. He's a man or he's not a man. And if he's not a man, I'm going to be more of a mommy-son. It's going to be a mommy-son relationship. I'm going to take away his friends. I'm going to take away his video games. I'm going to put him in timeout. I'm going to withhold the pussy from him. That's the pathway of these guys. But when she meets a Rolo or a John or you or Donovan, she knows that she can't get away with it.
No, sir.
See, the thing is, they know what they can get away with and they know what they can't. That's why I love what Rolo was saying, because they can switch this on and off like a light switch. They know in their heart and minds that they say, if I meet a real man, I'm not going to be able to do this. Because as soon as I do it, he's going to check me at the door. But they know the majority of these guys out there are desperate for women. They're lonely. They have no sense of self. So these women, it's like a predator. They know these guys are weak. So they just they give them a little love. They give them sprinkles of affection. And then they turn around and smack the shit out of them. And then they think, oh, it's love. Well, she was just having a bad day. Forgive her, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, I just want to say this real quick, like what Rolo was saying. Rolo was on point, but I don't believe there is no such thing. There's no such thing, in my opinion, because all women are capable of doing everything Rolo said. They are capable of doing it. The question is, are you going to allow their asses to be capable of doing that cake ass shit? That's all I want to say.
Hey, I want to just read this right quick. I went and looked up this is the official diagnosis for borderline personality disorder. Okay, these are like the symptoms of it or the signs of it. Okay, one is efforts to avoid or real or imagined abandonment, such as rapidly initiating intimate, physical, or emotional relationships, or cutting off communication with someone in anticipation of being abandoned. 2, a pattern of intense and unstable relationships with family, friends, and loved ones, often swinging from extreme closeness and love, idealization, to extreme dislike and anger. Oh boy, I know that one. Distorted and unstable self-image or sense of self. Impulsive and often dangerous behaviors such as spending sprees, unsafe sex, substance abuse, reckless driving, and binge eating. Please note, these behaviors occur primarily during a period of elevated mood or energy. They may be signs of mood disorder, not borderline personality disorder. Self-harming behaviors such as cutting. Recurring thoughts of suicidal behaviors or threats. Intense and highly changeable moods, with each episode lasting from a few hours to a few days. Chronic feelings of emptiness. Inappropriate, intense anger or problems controlling anger. There you go, right there.
Yep.
Difficulty trusting, which is sometimes accompanied by irrational fear of people's intentions. And then finally, feelings of dissociation, such as feeling cut off from oneself, seeing oneself from outside one's body, and feelings of unreality. When I was with my BPD at that time, one of the things that I noticed, and I've got a really kind of almost a seminal post, I think, on the Rational Male called Borderline Personality Disorder, and it's in the descriptions here if you want to go check it out. One of the things that I noticed once I realized that I was involved in a relationship with the BPD is that they will try to cut you off. Okay, and that's exactly what this girl did. And this is one of the reasons why I think this girl in particular was borderline personality. She had the classic behaviors. First of all, she's isolating him. But what happens, and again, I'm not saying that the guy's not beta, very much blue pill. But what happens is women will force their neurosis onto their victim, onto the guy that that they've chosen to be the bitch, basically. And what they do is they'll cut them off. Okay. They'll cut them off from all their friends. They'll isolate them from family. They'll say, your family doesn't really care about you. And those guys will start to believe that because she's going through it's called operant conditioning. And so whenever he does something right, he gets really crazy good sex. But when he does something wrong, he gets cut. Okay. He gets boiling water poured on him. Okay. It's like really intense. I mean, think about it. This is almost like psyops. Okay. I mean, it's like a behavioral conditioning. So if he does something he's supposed to, he gets crazy good sex. If he doesn't, then he gets boiling water. Okay. It's like really intense punishment and reward for doing the things that she wants. But what BPDs do is they make their victim, they make the guy in that relationship the source of her neuroses. Meaning that if you would just change as a guy, if you would just change yourself to be more like to her liking, then that would solve her problem. That I have a neurosis and you're the problem. And if you would just change yourself and you would just be more like the way I'm telling you to be, then you would, then I wouldn't be like this. It's your fault that I'm like this. And what happens is guys believe that. Guys like this get into that situation where it's this cycle, a 7-year cycle, apparently, where they get into this reward and punishment cycle, like I said, psyops. It's a behavioral conditioning. And what happens is these guys start to believe that. They believe it themselves. Because, why? Because they've been taught to defer to the feminine. That if I could just be a better person, if I could just stop watching porn, if I could stop playing PlayStation or Xbox, then she would love me and then she would want me that much more,
so
right?
Stop watching porn and just stop throwing boiling water.
Yeah, exactly. I know that sounds crazy, right? But this dude was in it. This is a very extreme case. Now think about guys who are just in kind of a mild case of this. Now that's why I wanted to actually have this conversation, is because I think Tate is right to a certain degree. I think that all women today have been raised in such a fashion that they are entitled to men's attention. They believe that they're entitled to men deferring to them. They've been taught since the time they were 5 years old that the little boys are supposed to do what they say because they're girls.
That's a good question for you too. Donnie's kind of like the example of, I wouldn't say your ex-wife was like low-level BPD, but it's kind of resonates with that. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah. My ex-wife was BPD, but she was she had bipolar disorder. She had mild schizoaffective disorder, which means she heard voices that were not there. She had social anxiety disorder. Like, she was all fucked up in the head. She was not borderline personality disorder because she didn't really have the opportunity to sort of turn my life upside down. This is why it's important. And just to piggyback off what Steve said, this is why it's very important to set boundaries as men. It's not that you change her behavior, because a woman's always going to be a woman. You change her behavior with you. Even if she is borderline personality disorder, if you put your foot down, she's going to stop with that shit. And get this, guys, borderline personality, BPD girls, they're going to try you around every corner. They're going to try you early and often. But when she sees that you're not having that, eventually she'll stop and maybe she'll look for another target. I once dated a girl in Vegas. Dude, the hottest girl I have ever sort of mildly called my girlfriend. She was a hard 10. This girl was a complete bitch to everybody. Men, women, old ladies, everybody. But around me, she was as soft as fucking baby shit. Why? Because I did not allow her to be a fucking bitch to me. That's how that worked. Listen, if you're going to be a bitch to me, you can get the fuck out of my house, or I'm getting the fuck out of your place. Here's one more thing. All women are capable of doing BPD things. Just because a woman hasn't been diagnosed with BPD doesn't mean that she can't still royally fuck up your life. A woman doesn't have to be diagnosed with BPD to cut you. A woman doesn't have to be diagnosed with BPD to psychologically mind fuck you. It's like most women don't identify as a feminist, but they still have feminist beliefs. And to be honest with you, I have BPD, and that's called bitches pander to Donovan. Never, ever, ever allow a woman to manipulate you with sex. That's where this BPD behavior starts.
All right, so quick here, shout out to the guys giving super chats. First is Drapotman. Oh, whatever.
Oh,
gentlemen, gentlemen, thanks for your knowledge. Rolo Hormonal was amazing. Fucking good job on you, Rolo. Yeah. Second one is René Ellen Kuntz at €5. No comment. That's fine. The money speaks for itself. Thank you kindly. And then John. So you got to the point where this crap was just, you just said, screw it, I'm out of here, and you went off to Japan?
No. This happened to me. So I actually dated a borderline girl in Japan, and I wanted to double down on what Rolo said, okay? Because what I'm seeing now is I am a professional elementary school teacher, and I teach children for multiple contracts in Japan. And Japanese children are so well taken care of. They're very well groomed. They're very well dressed. They're very well educated. And the gender roles are clear as day. Boys are boys, girls are girls. And what's happening in the States, when I dated my BPD, right, borderline personality disorder girl, she had all of the fucking red flags, because 9 times out of 10, this stems from a very traumatic childhood. Keep in mind, I have my degree in psychology as well. So I've studied this in detail, and then I experienced it firsthand. First and foremost, once you get pulled in with a BPD, you cannot see it. It's like the first time you get conned by a con artist, or like if you believe heavily in a religion and you snap out of it, like there's just this fog over you. And what she had a very bad relationship with her father, which is extremely rare in Japan. When she was 16, she got pregnant and also had an abortion. And then from 18 on, she just went through this torrential lifestyle that was just very destructive. I eventually discovered, because Japanese people usually don't cut themselves in place where you can see. They cut themselves on their thigh, right where the thigh meets the ass. So she had about 12 or 13 cut marks that I didn't discover until after we started banging, obviously. And then she would tell me about all these suicidal thoughts when she got drunk. And then I was just a good guy. I was just like, I didn't know that she was unrepairable. Like, so I was like, look, just do this. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And it was just a fucking black hole. And what guys don't realize is, like, even if you're a masculine guy, like they have the tendency to suck you in. It is like, it's a deep, toxic manipulation. And to top it off, I was cheating on her left and right, but the sex was fucking amazing.
And
Like,
so
like, I knew she was a psychopath, but it was proximity, and then she had ways of reeling me in, doing my laundry, and it was like I believe Steve and Rolo mentioned this as well. They're like bullies, okay? Bullies don't pick on guys the size of Donovan. All right? They pick on weak little dudes. They choose their victims. Women when women are like predatory like this, they pick on men who are weak psychologically, because remember, women are psychological snipers, right? Every woman is a certified fucking psychoanalyst. They analyze every single little detail of you as soon as they meet you or step into your house, or they even look at you. So these women choose their targets, and if you're not properly equipped, they can and will absolutely ruin your fucking life, because they're psychopaths and they want to. These type of girls, not all girls, but these type of girls.
All right, so that's perfect conversation switch. If you're going to have a BPD chick throw boiling water at you, at least make sure your skin is soft and sterile. With that, I suggest tactical soap.
I love it. I love that fucking book.
Link is in the description. Look, it's serious. These kind of burns can create infections. You really want sterile skin. Like I said, with this stuff, it's not going to make you a man, but if you're already a man, you might as well at least smell like one.
Hey, just real quick shout out, dude. The guy who owns Tactical Soap is the man. I got Tactical Soap mailed to me in fucking Japan directly from him. So shout out to the president of Tactical Soap.
Yo, listen, dude, I've got enough Tactical Soap literally to last me for 3 years. Not exaggerating. Like, it's like a brick. It's unbelievable. Loved it.
Yeah, the stuff's really good. I haven't used bar soap since I was like 15, and I'm finally back on it. But enough fluffing the Tactical Soap. We like it. It's good. It's there if you guys want it.
Yes, sir.
The last question here, we're going to go to minutes, or to questions on the top of the hour here. So my final question, I'm going to lead off with Steve, because Mr. Testimonial has some real life examples to throw on us. So knowing all you know from all the stuff we talked here about BPD stuff, the Tate angle, your angle, Rolo's angle, what is a guy reading this or watching this podcast going to do with all this information when he runs into a girl with great sex and a pot of boiling water on the stove?
He's gonna fuck her and keep on moving as a man. See, the thing is this: what a lot of guys don't understand is that as a man, women are a fucking perk. That's what, see, a lot of people misinterpret man to meaning a man should be getting women. No.
Yes.
Being a man is a journey that you begin to go up a mountain, and it doesn't end till the day you motherfucking die. And on your journey up that motherfucking mountain to the land of ass and titties, of course, but on up that mountain, women are going to come and go in your life. They are nothing but perks. They are nothing special until you yourself as a man deem them to be special. So what I'm saying to these young men is this: learn more about you, because the more you learn about yourself, the more you will be able to protect yourself from the dangers of people that are willing and ready to walk all over you. That's all I'm trying to get all you guys to see. Manhood is not about these motherfucking bitches. It's about you. Learn you. Be you. Learn what makes you great, and then they will follow your lead. And if they're not worthy enough, you throw their asses back in the water and you find a new goddamn bitch that is worthy. So what I'm just saying real quick, I'm just saying real quick is this: it's not about these fucking borderline crazy ass bitches. It's more about you.
I love it. Yeah, you can be crazy, just don't be crazy here. Quick shout outs here. One from Rule Zero Dad. Hey buddy, $20 US related to the topic of agency. If BPD is believed to be real, doesn't this give women who exhibit horrible behavior yet another built-in excuse to avoid personal accountability due to an illness? I would say yes, 100%. And
that's the controversy, actually. That's why Tate was saying that there is no such thing as borderline. He said all women have borderline personality disorder.
Oh, exactly. And then here we got Beery1 with 20 Scoobies. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I plan on taking, I don't know what the SEK is, but whatever. 21 Convention. Everybody, the other sponsor and host of this channel is 21 Studios. Coming up on first week of May, we have the 21 Convention Patriarchs Edition. Taking everything that the Red Pill does, guys swapping notes in order to carve themselves a better life, and applying it to dads being the best dads they can, whether you're divorced or brand new or expecting father. These are the kind of things that guys are going to do to make themselves more successful, at least more successful than the boomers with their trash, garbage fire, divorce-ridden, horrible fatherhood scenarios. So check out that. Link on that is in the description as well. And from that, we're going to switch over to, I think, Donnie. Yeah, it's kind of a segue here, but take her.
No, yeah, listen, real quick. What do we do with the information about borderline personality disorder? I don't think you don't have know the signs. You don't have to be like, wait a minute, I think she might be borderline personality disorder. No. Again, I'm 100% in lockstep with Steve. This ain't about her. This is about you. And when you have red pill awareness, you clearly understand that sex is by far and away the number one tool that women use to manipulate men. And it doesn't even have to be sexual intercourse, right? It could be sexual allure, the false promise of sex with the friend zone, the false promise of a sexual relationship. The list is endless. If a girl cannot manipulate you through sexual intercourse, she can't manipulate you, period. She can't do it. So what do we do if we find out a girl has BPD? You fuck her, you chuck her. That's how this works. Do not allow her to manipulate you through sex. Also, I have a super chat question here, which is a really good question from Red Pill Anon with the $10 super chat. It was way earlier. He says, how to handle quote unquote quiet borderline personality disorder. He says, the good girl, small town, bunch of siblings, eating disorder, very subtle sarcasm that rots your soul bit by bit versus physical abuse. What do you guys say to that one?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Rolla. He's got.
Whoops, sorry, I'm muted. Well, again, it's. I hate to think that we would get away from, like, not diagnosing borderline personality disorder just because all chicks are crazy like that. I mean, here's the thing: is like maybe there's, like he's saying here, maybe she's a stealth BPD, right? Well, is she really BPD, right? I think that one of the things that we use, we kind of like cling to certain to certain diagnoses, I think, in the manosphere. Like we want to say every guy who doesn't know how to talk to chicks is he's a spurg, right? He has Asperger's syndrome, or he has autism. No, they're just socially unintelligent guys. Okay, they just never had the occasion to really develop themselves into, for the most part. I'm not saying Asperger's doesn't exist; it does, but I think that a lot of guys, what guys call Asperger's syndrome, is really just guys who haven't had the occasion or haven't had the education, I guess, to learn social intelligence. Okay, same thing goes for women who like just what you guys are just saying. It's like technically every woman has the potential to have or develop borderline personality disorder. I think it was Tate who was saying something like the hotter a woman is, the more likely it is she's going to have borderline personality disorder. Why? Because she's going to be going out with guys who are beneath her, or at least she perceives as beneath her in sexual market value. So those guys will do anything for her, right? If she looks like one of Tate's cam girls, you know, that's a solid 10 to a guy who is, you know, a blue pill kid who has been raised from birth to be deferential to women. So he can't believe his luck. He can't believe he's got the hottest girl I'll ever have in my life, quote unquote. That's the ideal, right? And they don't want to do anything to fuck that up. Okay. And so they'll do anything. They'll allow you to put boiling water on them. They'll allow you to cut them, right? They'll do whatever because they believe that it is their fault that she doesn't see him as the guy, to the point where she'll go cheat on him. She'll go have sex with other guys, and he'll feel that it's his fault, that he did something wrong, that there was something wrong with him to force her to go and do that. So there's this constant idea of self-blame. So when a woman comes in and she's like this, maybe she's a 7, maybe she's an 8, but understand that women today have a false sense of ego. They have a false sense of self. They are fed by social media. They're fed by this idea that their sexual market value is probably like 1 or 2 steps above what it realistically is. So you've got that sense of entitlement already. The future is female, right? So we're going to empower women as much as we can. I see that super chat there in a second, but I think what guys need to do, and exactly what you and what Donnie and Steve have been saying, is like, yeah, I mean, you have to be aware of this, and you have to be unapologetically masculine, and you have to do this, because if you don't do this, you end up with boiling water on you. Okay, so is there such thing as a borderline personality disorder? I'm sure that there is. But I think that what a lot of guys prescribe as borderline personality disorder is just a bitch being a bitch. Okay. It's just her being entitled. It's like we have socially engineered women to feel comfortable in displaying and involving themselves in behaviors that are borderline personality disordered behaviors. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence right now. I do believe that there is such a thing as BPD, but I also think that maybe Tate's right as well, is that the hotter a chick is, the more pronounced those ideas are going to be. But I will tell you this right now, and this we'll move on here in just a second. I'll tell you this right now. There's probably women watching this, or they're going to be watching this and going, I'm not like that. I would never do anything like that. I would never try to isolate a guy. I would never pour boiling hot water. And
you want a cookie?
I'm sure there is. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, that they're going to say that same thing. They're going to say, that's just not in me. I would never do that. And I will tell you that if that is you, ladies, I would say you haven't met the right guy. You haven't you haven't met the worst beta you have ever met. You have not ever brought that guy in, because I think that one of the reasons that women default to this behavior is because somewhere in their hind brain, they know that they're locked in with a guy who is a chump, that they're locked in with that blue pill guy who's not going to stand, there's a power vacuum there that he is never going to step into. And so what does she do? She vents her frustration on him, and she has to step into that power dynamic. So she's the dominant. She gets to tell him what to do. She gets to cut him off from his friends. She gets to use his children as leverage against her, because she wants him to. Imagine what would have happened if this guy would have manned up and said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out. I'm not going to deal with this bullshit. You're cutting me. Fuck you. You know.
And Rolo, that ties into the super chat that Rob Brown said. He said BPD women start out with the belief that they're entitled to a man that will put their entertainment as their number one priority. Thus, any sort of that naturally would be taken as neglect or abuse. And just to double down like on what you said and what Steve the Dean said and what Donovan Sharp said, you know, guys, it is all about you. That, like, the backbone of Rollo's work is be your mental point of origin. Okay, look, if you guys, let me break this down super nerdy terms for you. Right, if you play a video game and you're an RPG character, okay, you're the main character. A bitch is just the accessory. She's the shield. She's the helmet. She's the ring. Okay, you can take that bitch and throw off. Guess what? This ring may give me plus 100 attack, but I will find another bitch that gives me 250 attack. You better get your fucking ass in line. All right. That's the mentality you have. You got to think, I'm going to unequip you from my life, ho. All right. Because I am in this shit to be level 100. And if you're not here for support, you're going in the fucking trash. I'll sell you to the fucking shop or sell you into slavery or whatever. Just get the fuck out of my life. So you got to remember that at the end of the day, it's all about you. Do what you want to do. You be your own mental point of origin in your life, in your business, in your family, in your professional career, everything.
But you do see how this mentality gets fostered in a blue pill conditioning society, right? I mean, you understand, like, just this morning I was on Twitter and guys are telling me you need to be vulnerable because vulnerability is strength. And if you're afraid to express your emotions, then you're not really a man. You know, that kind of shit. Like that I think what Jack Donovan calls it, transvaluation is what it's called.
Well, you
and
remember
like,
kiwi birds?
Yeah.
yeah, it's exactly what it is. They had no natural predators, so they acted like beta males or whatever. And then the British came over, they brought rats on the ships, and the rats would just walk up and eat them. It's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah. Well, and so we have this society of guys, like right now, I will guarantee you, I could go on Twitter and we could talk about what Steve was saying and what Donnie was saying, and they'll just say, well, you're just a toxically masculine guy, because we live in a society that creates the victims, that creates the guys who these women are going to look for. That these these guys are. I'm not surprised that a guy like Alex Skeel exists today.
I just want to tell you something. So, Rollo, obviously I live in Tokyo, right? And the funniest thing ever is when I see these Western girls come over here looking like schlubs, okay? Frumpy is the word I describe the Western girls that come over here. And they walk around and they see every Japanese girl, long, beautiful, groomed hair, beautiful face of makeup, impeccable fashion, thin. Okay, the average Japanese girl weighs 100 to 130 pounds. Thin, nice body. And you see these chicks, they're so fucking entitled, I can tell. And they come over here and they just shut down. You can see them walking around. I'm very good at reading women's body language, and you can see them just cringing up and looking insecure because they know that they're inadequate and only their bullshit flies in the States. That's another reason why I've been in Japan 4 years now. Foreign girls, they don't last here because they get fucking ignored by Japanese guys because they're too loud, too masculine, and they just can't stack up. They just can't stack up to Japanese girls. And that's why I have the Modern Life Dating Octagon Challenge. All these bitches that think they're so great, I challenge you to get in the octagon with me if you think you're equal and entitled to me. Because this fucking delusion, hey, these girls are starting to punch guys in the fucking street. It's fucking hilarious.
Good.
All right. Good. You know, this is why I always tell you guys out there, you got to cut the umbilical cord from mommy. You got to stop relating to women. Like Rollo said, these guys want to sit around and say, well, y'all guys are so mean to us and you need to love women, because you know what? It's like a woman right underneath their asshole, pumping their mouth to say whatever they want to say. It's like they're trying to protect mommy or some silly ass, excuse me, like, I just get so adamant about this. I get around Ryan, they make me cuss and shit. But anyway, I'm just saying that what upsets me is this. You guys got to remember this. Your money, your clothes, your corner office, your nice cars, your jewelry, your watches don't make you a man. What happens is you fools keep standing on shit that you do and not that who you are. And once a woman can smell, like I think it was Donovan said, once they can smell the weakness, The weakness doesn't come when you open your motherfucking mouth. The weakness comes when you walk out that goddamn door. You are sending a signal to all these women out there that you're a bitch and she should be beating your ass up. And that's why I'm okay with that, woman, with that guy. You know why? Because if you're a cupcake, you need to be treated like a cupcake.
It's the same tone that my grandfather's sermons used to have, but it's got such harsher language. Jeez, boys. All right. On that note, we're up on the top of the hour. We're going to switch over to calls right now. Yeah, Donnie, take it from here and let everybody know the number.
914-205-5356 is the number to call. Again, that is 914-205-5356. If you are outside of the U.S., it is 001-914-205-5356. If you block your number, I will bring you on and I will hang up on you and make a fool out of you. Okay. I don't deal with cowards. I don't deal with dudes who try to. You have enough anonymity here in the chat. If you have something to say, like if you have a strong opinion, I don't have a problem with that. Just give me a call. We can talk about it on the air. Let's go to area code 474. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Hey guys, do you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello. Thank you guys. I'm Brett from Norway. And I have a question for Rollo. First, I want to personally thank Rollo for really saving my life with his books, because I was really in emotional prison when it came to girls. I always supported them. I did everything for them. But after I read the Rational Male, and now my mind opened up. So thank you so much, Rollo.
Great. Thanks for saying that. I'm glad it helped.
Yeah. Thank you. And my question for today is, okay, you say we shouldn't support the girls all the time. We shouldn't put them first. We shouldn't listen to their problems. But when you go into the relationship, it comes times when they need help. It comes times when they need to be listened to. So when should we do that, and when shouldn't we support them?
I think what you have to do is you have to discern what's real and what's not. Okay, like what is a real issue and what is not a real issue. I think what it is, I think Donnie and Steve have been saying this already throughout this whole episode, is like you kind of have to treat their. I think a lot of guys, because we're raised in this feminine primary society, that we tend to think that every little thing that a woman says is some, earth-shattering information that we have to go and we have to solve the problem. And that's what most guys do. Like we are natural problem solvers. I think I wrote this is in the book as well, is that guys are deductive natural problem solvers. That's why we focus and concentrate on things. We tend to think more idealistically, and by that I mean like we think outside ourselves. We think what is in the realm of possibility. And so when it comes to even when it comes to reproduction, it's a problem to be solved. We look at things. One of the reasons why guys focus so intensely on their work and what it is that they do is because that is part of the male psyche. That's part of our evolved mental firmware, is to find a problem and solve the problem, to fix something. And so when that fixing thing becomes that woman, we want to solve the problem. But women don't want all of their problems to be solved. They just simply want to ramble on about it. They want to be heard about it, right? And that's actually, it's funny, is they just bitching and complaining about something is solving the problem for them, because they just want an ear. They just want somebody to communicate with them. Now this is a parody video, but there's a great video called "It's Not About the Nail." And it's that, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's like this conversation between this couple, and the woman has a nail, embedded in her forehead. And so he's the guy, and he's saying, it might be, you might not have this problem if you just remove the nail out of your forehead. And then she's like, it's not about the nail, and so she just wants to go on and she just wants to talk about this. And that's and it's funny, but it's funny because it's true, because there are problems that women simply don't care to solve, because their existence centers on it being unsolved. And if a guy were to actually come in and solve that problem for her, it would be it would take all that away. It would take the attention away. It would take the focus off of her. Well, we solved your problem, so we don't need to think about you anymore. So what will women do is they'll go and they'll create another problem for themselves, and they'll want to talk about that, and they'll get a new nail and they'll put it in their forehead. And then you're not supposed to talk about the nail. You're just supposed to listen and be a good listener. And that's, I think, one of the good things that guys have to do is, like I was saying before, is you need to make yourself your own mental point of origin, and you have to, and this is as mercenary as I can make this, is you have to think about yourself first. You have to think about, how does this decision affect me before it affects anybody else? You have to be the one, and the guys, I think when guys are unplugging, this is the toughest step for them to do, is because from the time we're like 5 years old, we're conditioned to believe that we are supposed to be deferential to women. We're supposed to solve women's problems. We're supposed to be supportive. We're supposed to empower them. We're supposed to give them jobs. We're supposed, just because they have vaginas, we're supposed to be respectful to them. They don't have to earn respect. They just get respect. And we're taught that from a little boy, because if we don't do that, then we're bad. And they drug us and they give us Adderall for acting like little boys, right? And so what happens is, gradually over the course of their upbringing, they believe this stuff and they internalize this stuff. And one of those internalizations is that we have to be a man, you have to solve a woman's problems. You have to be a good listener. You have to be there to solve her problems and to be like a good supportive guy. Well, I'm telling you, you don't have to do that. In fact, it's better if you don't. It's better if you put yourself before you do that. Now, you're going to say, well, what if she has a real, genuine problem? Well, at that case, you have to understand, is this something that you really need to solve? Is this a problem that she has that she wants to have solved? Because if you're dealing with that, like, guys don't want it. Like when guys talk with women, I've described this before. It's like when women are, women communicate covertly and men communicate overtly. And so what happens is guys like think that women's communication style is just completely inadequate. Like it's completely inefficient. It's like, talk about the information, tell me what the problem is, solve the damn problem. Whereas women care about like the feelings involved in that conversation. They'll get together with their girlfriends just to talk about things, right? Whereas guys get together to solve a problem, and then maybe we talk about something while we're doing it. Well, there's that communication difference between men and women. And men think, well, why am I going to bother with that? Like MGTOWs are always saying, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, right? Well, part of that juice ain't being worth the squeeze is they think that a woman should emote and act like a man, like she should come over to my side of my way of thinking and deal with me based on deductive problem solving, when she doesn't really want to do that. So it's understanding. I think the most important part of this is understanding what is a problem that needs to be addressed and what is not.
Right. And here's something else that, and I'm going to actually give a different perspective on this. When you're just fucking a woman and there aren't feelings involved, it's very easy to be red pill, right? You've got the abundance mentality, you're fucking 2 or 3 other girls. But guess what? When feelings are involved, when you get into a relationship with a woman, listen, red pill aware or not, the chemistry does change. And this isn't to say that guys who are not in relationships are weaker red pill men. If anything, men who stay away from relationships and feelings they're self-aware enough to understand that we as men, we are the romantics, so they don't want to get feelings involved because they know that they'll be a little bit less red pill. But I'm gonna tell you what, the strongest minded red pill aware men are men who are in relationships and men who are married. Because guess what? It's not easy to be red pill when you live with someone. That being said, to answer his question, should we listen to a woman's problems? If your woman is in a relationship with you, this means as a red pill aware male, you made her do what's necessary to earn your commitment. Guess what? Part of your commitment, your attention, your resources, everything else, part of that commitment is your attention. But Rollo hit it on the head. You have to be able to decipher which problems are worth letting her actually dealing with her with and trying to help her with, and which problems are just throwing it on and on. Case in point, Devin has a very stressful job. She comes home, she talks to me about it all the time. I let her do that because, number one, she's my girlfriend and she's earned that privilege. And number two, I know that work is very important to her and it can affect our relationship. So I'm very attentive about that. But here's another problem. This morning, I'm in the bathroom taking a shower. She's texting me, oh my God, I weighed this and that and the other, and I know you want me down. Listen, Devin looks great, but she's freaking out about inconsequential bullshit. I didn't entertain her. I didn't say, well, Devin, let's sit down and have a talk about that. No, I said, sweetheart, you're being a fucking drama queen, blah, 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 blah. Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be fine. That's it. Right. But don't be meathead red pill guy who treats his girlfriend like a side chick. You can't do that. Great. Right. It doesn't work that way. Don't be one strike and you're out. No. She's your girlfriend. She's your wife. You need to give her you need to give her that respect at the very least if she earns it. And if she is your girlfriend or wife, she will have earned that. So that's to your question.
Sorry to cut you off. Speaking of
No,
earning it, HTJ Redline with his 10 US because he doesn't have $300 to throw at the Red Man Group.
Oh, that was great last week. Thank you for all of that, by the way.
Yeah, where the fuck is Rob Cruz? This is the Rob Cruz show, right?
Rob Cruz and friends.
Because he gave us his rent money.
All right,
Donovan,
so you got us a new call in there, Donnie?
Yeah, let's go to area code 661. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Good morning, y'all. My name's Tom. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've called in before. I was the thumbnail of episode 8 for the longest time before it got changed. My Twitter handle is @Tommy3rd. Rolo, you blocked me on Twitter earlier this week by accident. Can you unblock me, or can we talk about it?
Okay, Tommy, I
don't know who you are, to be honest with you. A lot of people use different names, and I'm really. Let me just tell you this really quick. I'm really quick to block people on Twitter. I used to not be that way, but now I am, because I don't want to wrap myself up in old ass conversations and old ass debates that I've already settled. So I don't know who you are, but if you want to email me, you can email me and let me know what your name is. I'll be happy.
Real quick too, I don't like the fact that you dropped your Twitter handle on that. That's bad form, caller. That's bad fucking form.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Why?
Walk me through it.
Why? Why?
Oh no!
Next caller. Fuck that guy. Next caller.
I don't like that at all, man. I like, dude. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Well, I mean, I think Ryan was saying something to the effect that this guy Tommy or whatever his name was mouthing off or something like earlier this week. I have no idea. I don't know.
Listen,
I don't
I
know
don't
anything
either.
about this.
He talked to me. All I said was, "Come on in. Whatever your beef was, like mention it, and then we'll take it." And if you're just coming in here to say you want to be friends with somebody, you're probably going to get dunked on, and he got dunked on.
He got dunked on.
Yeah. Next caller. Just do next caller.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Hang on. If you have a grievance with one of us, definitely call in. But I don't want you. Well, this is Donovan from DonovanSharp.com. My Twitter handle is Donovan's Den. I've got a beef with. No, fuck that. You knew what you were doing. Email Rolo, and you guys can settle this shit off the air. Area code 5530. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead. Jeez. Fuck out of here.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Hey, I have a question relating to bipolar disorder. I was in a relationship with a chick for 3 years on and off, and she was clinically diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And through my idealization of love, I was in denial of it until I started noticing the manufactured chaos. And I picked up the book Psychopathic Free and picked up a lot of the red flags and stuff like that. And through the process of all this, the abuse that she did towards me, I went ahead and, I did it back and caught myself a case. We broke up, case is over. Basically, I was able to cut my losses and move on. And so now I'm sitting on this frontier of I've, un-effed up my life. And now I'm just wondering what the hell to do with it, because I'm not, sort through all the bullshit that she's created.
Oh, okay, listen to me, young man. And this is y'all's problem. The greatest problem y'all guys have is y'all are not honest with yourselves. Y'all walking around living lies. You've got to change your language. Stop acting like you're the victim in all this. What you need to start doing is change the language and say, I allowed her to treat me this way. I allowed her to do this and do that to me. Once you can start saying that, then you are making a proper way into going towards manhood. The problem with you guys is this: y'all allow these women to play by their rules instead of them playing by your rules. Now, I'm sorry that you messed your life up because you hit that bitch instead of let her ass go. The problem is this is why I keep telling y'all guys, y'all got to stop lying to yourselves and act like y'all doing something more than you're not. You are allowing her to hit you. You are allowing her to talk crazy to you.
Yep.
All that stuff that's going on with you that you're saying, I'm not gonna pat you on the back and give you some soup and give you some chicken soup for the soul and some Neosporin and tell you it's gonna be okay. Because for you, it's not gonna be okay till you draw a line in the fucking sand and stop walking in that victimhood mentality that you got. Turn around and get your nuts and your balls back and start talking and behaving like a goddamn man. Shit.
Yeah. And I'll just double down on that. Look, here's the thing, guys. All right. Here's how because a lot of you guys that watch this show are pretty fucking smart, right? So if you have two girls you're dating, right? You have girl A and girl B. Women instinctively will start disrespecting you to begin their military advance on your manhood. Okay, they're going to be storming the shores of Normandy. That is your manhood. And if you don't hold the line and push back, she will take you. Notice this. If you have, let's say you have two girls, right? Let one girl, just observe both their behaviors and let one girl blatantly disrespect you and watch how it increases, increases. This girl doesn't meet you on the first date and then hit you with a left hook. All right. She incrementally begins her psychological intrusion on you, and she begins sizing you up, and she's like chips away at you. It's a little thing at a time. It's a little thing at a time. And the next thing you know, she's punching you in the face. She's fucking pouring boiling water on you because she just doesn't see you as the man. She wants to be dominated. She wants to be told what to do. She wants to be controlled. But that's why these girls who do this, they end up resenting and hating you. That's why they start hitting you and doing this stuff. It is only what you allow. You're not the victim. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. At the end of the day, this happens because you allow it. If you don't like it, like the great Patrice O'Neill said, take your ball and go home. If you don't want to play the game, at least you got your manhood. You trick this bitch into fucking you, you can trick another one. The game goes on. End of day.
All right. Shout out to Redman Anon with another $10 super chat. He says, quote, He says, quote, Rolo says, demonstrate, do not explicate. But when the girl gets confused about your changed behavior because you're demonstrating and asks what's going on, do you explicate at that point or play dumb and keep demonstrating? Check this out. Before Rolo goes, women love to play ignorant. Why are you doing this? Why are you acting like this? Right? You don't have to explain shit to them as far as I'm concerned. Just be along for the ride. Rolo, what you got on that?
All right. Well, there's a couple of things here. First one is when you demonstrate and you do not explicate, that means what you're doing is you're communicating with her with your behaviors. You're not. This comes from when guys say, well, shouldn't I tell her? Shouldn't I give her an ultimatum? If I tell her, bitch, you better do this or I'm going to be out of here. That kind of stuff. Women don't threats do not work for women. Ultimatums do not work for women. Ultimatums are declarations of powerlessness. So what you need to do is you need to demonstrate there. If you want to establish and set borders or boundaries with a woman, you have to do it. You can't just talk about it. You can't say, okay, look, here's how this is going to work out. Again, the guys think that this is how it should work out because they believe this bullshit about blank slate equalism. They think that men and women are equals. And if men and women are equals, then talking to her as if she were a man and trying to be rational with her and trying to speak with her in an overt masculine form of communication, men think that will work. That's what we teach them, right? That's what Oprah and Dr. Phil says. It's all about open communication, right? No, bullshit. It's what you communicate. It's not that you communicate. So there are different varied ways to communicate. Okay. One of those, and the most effective one for women from men, is to actually do something. If she goes out on her girls' night out and she's asking, yeah, I'm going to go with my friends. And is that okay with you? You just go, yeah. And you're not there when she comes back. That establishes the boundary. Okay. But so what happens when you start doing that, when you start going and changing your behavior, like say you're going to the gym or you're changing something up about yourself and you're doing something different and she feels uncomfortable about that. And she's thinking, I'm confused. What's going on? You know, it's like, no, you just keep doing what you're doing. You don't give her that explanation. In fact, but that confusion that you're talking about means that what you're doing is working. Okay. It means that her imagination has kicked into high gear and she's wondering what the hell's going on with you. And because the moment you explain it, the moment you explain yourself rather than demonstrate yourself is the moment she goes, oh, okay, I get it. I know what this is about.
Yeah, right.
Then you expose the game, right? Because women don't want to know that they're playing a game. They want to just play the game. That's why I always say play with her and play with her. Okay? I don't know if people understand the nuance of that. Right? Play with her and play with her. Okay. And so So what happens is these guys will get into this and they'll change their behavior. And like, especially this is true of guys who are married and they want to find some way to get their chick to come back to having sex with them on a regular basis. And so they'll change something about themselves. They'll be a hard ass all of a sudden, right? And then she'll go, oh, is this you being a hard ass? Did you read The Rational Male? Huh? I guess I see what's going on with you. You know, that kind of shit. If you go and you expose the game, that's what's called the observer effect. And what happens is observing a process will change that process. So if you talk about it instead of demonstrating it,
Schrodinger's cat,
you basically just giving it up. Go ahead.
Oh.
Show that video. I wanted to put that up there.
All right, so here's the video that Rolo's talking about. I don't know that there's sound to it, but there
isn't. Don't worry about it.
Just this is unbelievable. Oh, what? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, what? Oh, wow.
No, he deserves it. He deserves it. Hit him. She should punch him. Punch him. Hit him with an elbow. Kick him.
Oh, bitch, well, you can sit over there by yourself. Fuck
World star.
She's going to come back. Watch.
He said world
She's going to
star.
come back. Watch. Here we go. What is he doing? Oh, my God. He's not paying attention to me.
Yeah, see?
Oh man, I wish a bitch would do this shit to me.
I know, for real.
Get up and walk away, man, because, dude, I would. That would
People
not
only hit soft targets.
Okay, so that was it right there.
Oh, okay, all right.
I wanted to throw that one out there, and I'll let you guys opine on this in just a minute. I wanted to put that out there because, like, when we're talking about BPD, those are BPD behaviors, but those are also psycho bitch behaviors, right? That's pay attention to me. Like, okay, so what's the solution? Actually, maybe we should start talking about solutions here. What should that guy do? Get up and fucking walk the hell away. You know, just say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm not going to deal with this bullshit. But the blue pill mindset keeps that guy sitting in that seat. That blue pill mindset, that beta mindset, like, oh, I got to do what she says. If I don't, I'm not going to get any pussy. That guy, where she's going to go there and she's going to, like, anything she can do, she can get away with fucking boiling water. She can get away with cutting him. She can get away with making an idiot of him in public. I had to deal with this shit with my BPD too. That's one of the reasons I wanted you to throw that out there, because she was insanely jealous. Right. Because when I met my BPD girlfriend, I was like at the top of my fucking game. Like I had long blonde hair. I was playing in the LA metal scene at the time. I mean, I could be sitting at like a restaurant table like that, and I would get like looks from girls all the time. Right. And she'd go, oh, you want to fuck her? What's wrong with you? How come you're not wearing blinders? You know, how come you, that kind of shit? And you put up with that. And once you remember what we just talked about, demonstrate, do not exploit. If you're demonstrating behavior that you're saying, oh, that's acceptable, that's okay, you can do this to me, right? This is acceptable behavior. Once that is acceptable behavior, well, maybe pouring boiling water on you is acceptable behavior too. It escalates, and I think guys need to understand that if they don't do this. And now solutions wise, what should this guy do? Get up and walk away, obviously. And the other thing I think is that because we have the internet and because we have the Manosphere and because we have this new global community where we're sort of this consortium of guys who are sharing their experiences. This is off of the Reddit sub for borderline personality, living with borderline personality disorder partners, right? And it's like, I think that this is kind of almost a sad statement on Reddit. I mean, how is it that the TRP sub is quarantined and this isn't? How is that? How does that happen? Because TRP tries to solve this kind of stuff, right? I mean, the red pill wants to make sure that guys understand how to solve these
but
problems.
You see how bad we cuss? Of course, we're the evilest guys.
Yeah. So, what is the solution? I think part of that solution is the Manosphere. It's raising awareness to this, because I think that there will be guys who will watch this show, or maybe they'll see this thread, or maybe they'll see something, or they'll hear something that I said, or that one of you guys say, or they'll read a book or read my book, or whatever, and they'll understand. You go, oh, that's bullshit, you know, and then they'll emancipate themselves from this blue pill conditioning. That's why I say you need to kill the beta. You need to kill the blue pill guy. You need to disabuse yourself of all that bullshit. You need to unplug. You need to become a red pill aware, because if you don't, you will end up like this. You will end up like this guy right here. You'll end up like the guy who got boiling water, or like Alex Skeel. You will end up like that. It is dangerous.
This is a perfect segue. Tom actually very adamant about being heard. So I'm going to take this question. It was directed at you, but I think we're on the same page here. So you correct me if after a minute here I'm wrong. Again, from Tom.
Is this Tommy?
Yeah, it is. He has a $5 super chat here. So
all right.
He needs to send more money.
And it's a good question.
I'll answer it at the $100 stage.
$500, Tommy. $500, Tommy.
Bob Crew, super chat.
As a red pill man, do I have the right to profit off of others' men's blue pill tendencies? This is an awesome question, and I've asked myself this a bunch, so I think I'm qualified to answer it. Here's the thing. There are guys that profit off of men's blue pill tendencies.
Matthew
Every
Hussey?
guy, yeah, and that's the thing. So it's going to happen regardless of whether we do or not. The way he asked this is that does he have the right, as in who's the authority to tell you what you are and are not allowed to do? That's antithetical to everything red pill. The idea in the red pill is you eat what you hunt. You hunt what you kill, you eat what you kill. So
I just hate this guy already.
All right, you guys go ahead. I got
Yeah,
something,
no.
but I'm gonna let you guys go first because you're probably gonna say what I'm gonna say.
I hate this guy. This dude needs to send $500. That's all I gotta
Well,
say.
here's the thing. He's appealing. He's doing the same thing that MRAs do here, and it's understandable why you want the world to be fair. So if you guys are red pill and don't fall for this stuff, don't you have an obligation to help others? Red pill, in my experience, has always been triage. Out of the 100 guys that came to the red pill or the married red pill, 85% of them are absolute trash. They're ego invested. They invest nothing but hatred. They will take all your advice, do none of it, screw up their lives more, then come back and ask you to help fix this garbage fire they created by not listening to you. There is nothing you can do to these kind of guys to help them. They don't want to be helped. They want to be made to feel better. So if your question is, should you have the right to profit off of their inability to learn to be better? Well, let me ask you this. If those guys are subsidizing men who get their shit together and get their life on lock, they're the one thing that they're doing of value in this earth is making it so other guys can get their shit together, and you just made value for them. Yeah, so I don't feel bad about it. Every guy here gives the man the tools he needs. I already tell you, everybody here tells you, no product you buy is going to make you a man. So when we sell you tactical soap, we know, the smart guys know, it's not going to make me a man. I like the smell of cedarwood. If the kind of guy who thinks if I buy this and those pheromones are going to get me laid, and that's the only problem, not my fat ass, not my horrible attitude, not my bad game, then you know what? He's just doing what part he can for the Manosphere.
There it is. He just said
the way for other men.
Listen, this is exactly what I was going to address. He literally just told on himself. He said, from an ethical perspective, Rollo, that question wasn't for him. That question was for us. What he is trying to do is he's doing what I like to call when women do the reverse permission trick. Hey, baby, if you want to go out with your homeboys every Friday night, that's totally okay with me. Oh, well, all right, cool. I can go out with my homeboys. Guess what? When she goes out for girls' night out next Friday, and you say, well, where the fuck you going? Well, I let you go out with your homeboys, so I'm going out with my girls. This is what Tom W. is doing. He says, can I profit off of, as a red pill man off blue pill guys? Because if we give him permission, if we say, of course you can, he's going to say, well, then why do you guys do it? Right? So he's asking us this ethical question. You guys have an ethical obligation or moral obligation not to be profiting or monetizing your red pill awareness. So he's asking us, okay, can I take advantage of men's blue pill weaknesses? If we say no, he's going to come back and say, well, then why are you guys doing the same thing? And now you're locked up in this verbal chop suey where he wants to literally call us out for doing what we do.
I disagree. We're doing it all to begin with. Like even me, I think my favorite thing was on my marketing newsletter. I had a big, huge screed that I gave these guys content showing about symbols of masculinity. And I talk about them in the 21 convention speech where I'm talking about cold knuckle push-ups in the shower to be a man, like wet nap your way to masculinity. And then I put the exact same ad for soap underneath that says the same thing. Yeah, explained it. And you know what? A lot of people bought soap. So either I've got a really savvy audience, or I have a lot of blue pill men who follow me who want to subsidize the guys who give a damn. Either way, I'm happy.
Can we ban him now? Can we ban him? I want to ban him.
I like him.
No, don't ban him.
Listen, this is backhanded concern trolling by this guy. Make no mistake about it. And oh, by the way, he says, thanks, I'm out. Have a good show, because we just pulled his fucking card. Get out.
Let's take next caller then. Yeah?
No, you guys done? Because I got something.
Uh-oh, Roll's coming in with the...
Are we all done? Are you ready for this? Okay. First off, fuck you. Okay. And then second of all, let me tell you why I say fuck you, because
he's still here crying in the chat.
Because I have done this. I've been writing for free since 2000. 2001. If you follow me all the way back through all of my archives through So Suave, I've been nothing but free. I've been a mod on So Suave I was from 2002 all the way up to 2000 and I don't know 14 or something like that. Okay, all for free. I've never monetized my blog. I've never put any ads on it. I don't even have an email list. People think I'm crazy for not having an email list on it, okay? Because I don't see any use for it. I've got one for Patreon right now, but that's only because I want to make sure that if I ever get deplatformed, I've got something to fall back on. So there's that. When I wrote my book and I did that, if you want to read what is in my first, actually pretty much in all of my books, you can find all of those, pretty much everything, with the exception of a few things. All of that for free on my blog. I just make it convenient for you guys to go and look at that. And what happens is we just had the first caller in here said, "Hey man, you saved my life with your book." There you go. Okay. Guess what that book cost him? $9.99.
Why? You shill.
Why was it $9.99? Because Rollo, why is the text so small? Well, I thought that was going to be the only book I would ever write, but also I was trying to keep the book at 300 pages. Why? So I could keep the price down. Okay. Why am I charging the least amount that Amazon will allow me to charge for a book? To keep the price down so that people can get it in their hot little hands and they can save their lives with it. Okay. Yeah. Why if I am doing this all for money, I'm the worst fucking and I've done marketing and branding for pretty much my entire professional career. If I am doing this for money, I am the worst. Don't come to me for your brand management, because what do? I share half of my royalties with Sam Boda. Why? Because Sam needs the freaking money, man. He did the work. And I felt like he's been with me through thick and thin from day one. So why am I doing that? I could very easily profit 100% off that. I could profit a whole lot more off of that if I did. I don't, because I'm a swell fucking guy. Okay. and again, so if you're gonna, but okay, I just want to throw that out there to preface this. The other thing is like the thing is like the MGTOW community right now is really up in arms because we have tactical soap, and oh my god, we're leading these blue pill guys down the wrong path, and oh my god, boy, if you could just kill one of these guys, it would be better than killing a feminist, because they're leading these guys down the wrong path. That's what they're saying. That's what this whole bullshit thing is. It's not about selling fucking soap. Okay. It's not about that. It's because they think that what we're saying right here, they think that we're profiting off of the weakness of blue pill guys. That's what they think. They think that because if we're doing that, then we're worse than feminists. We're worse than the guys who, because what we're doing is we're leading them down the wrong path. We're telling these guys, hey, you know what? You can actually go have a successful relationship with a woman if you approach, if you put game, like if you, we were just talking about, like, maybe, God forbid, we save a guy from getting boiling fucking water poured on him. Okay. Right. Okay. So we're saying, hey, you know what? Rather than just cutting yourself off from women, rather than doing that, maybe there's some ways that you can actually, have a complementary relationship with women. A compliment. You are a compliment, she's a compliment, and you actually have a good, successful relationship. And so maybe that is actually possible, right? But these guys don't want to believe that. They want to believe that it's like they think that what we're doing, which we're profiting, and this is profiting. And don't think that it's just about the soap. It's also the 21 convention. It's also the other stuff that they disagree with, because they think that, well, first of all, it should all be free, right? We should just create free value for everybody. And that's what Rich Cooper always says. It's like, you know what, even if tactical soap didn't do anything that it says, even if it didn't have pheromones, and it's still a masculine owned company that is supporting this show. If you want to support the show, buy it. That's really the basis of this. It's not like it's going to get you laid. If you actually believe that following Pat Soyman is going to get you laid, via con Dios, man, it's all on you. Go ahead, please do. If you're that stupid, if you're stupid enough to go and follow Roosh, go right ahead. Via con Dios, do whatever you're going to do. If you're that dumb, okay? If you're dumb enough to follow Tucker Max, if you're dumb enough to follow, Matt Hussey, if you're dumb enough to follow any of these guys, you know what? Reading my book isn't going to save you. Okay. If you're dumb enough to think that like Axe body wash is going to get you fucking laid, go ahead, man. Spend as much money as you want. If you're that stupid, that's not what we're doing here. We're improving lives. We're helping guys out, and we're saving fucking lives. I've got a one post, and if anybody wants to see this, it's called, and I'll be done after this. If anybody wants to go see this, I have a post called this. I think it's called the Safety Net. Okay, and it's there's 1,000 different testimonies in the comments right now, over 1,000 testimonials in there saying how the red pill and the red pill in general, or what I've written in particular, has saved lives, has stopped those guys from putting a noose around their neck, has stopped these guys from. There's one guy who came up to me at the 2017 21 convention. He said, I came out here just to see you because I had set a date to kill myself. I was trying to make it as convenient as possible for my wife, my ex-wife, and my kids, so that when I died, they would be taken care of with insurance and all this other stuff. He's like, and I had set a date, and then I got your book before that date, and I read it. He's like, and I canceled. I wasn't going to kill myself anymore. So, oh my God, you spent $10 to save your life? Oh, geez, I guess that's okay, right? I don't know.
Shout out to Sire Bum F with the $20 super chat. A very good quote here from Robert De Niro in Heat, which is that's an underrated movie. Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, check that out. 95, Val Kilmer's in that as well. Says, quote, don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. Truer words never spoken. Another $5 super chat from Redman and Non. He says, do you think demonstrating instead of explicating goes beyond dating or with other groups such as family, coworkers, male friends? One should be more careful. Steve, I'll let you go on that, and then we'll get to the caller, 910.
Let me tell y'all something. I always tell y'all this, that the biggest problem with the majority of you guys, y'all keep trying to separate church and state, so to speak. I don't give a fuck if it's my parents, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, or a goddamn Smurf. I'm treating everybody the same. It's all about my motherfucking ass. I'm king. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was living with my mother, she could tell me what the fuck I can and can't do. But once I leave her house, I am my own man, and I will I expect everybody to treat me the way I want to be treated. And if you don't treat me that way, I'm gonna need to call it Rolo, because Rolo went Rolo on y'all motherfuckers a second ago. I'm gonna go Rolo on your ass. So what I'm saying is this: don't try to separate. Well, I treat women this way, then I'm gonna let my family walk all over me. I'm gonna let my mom tell me what to do and how to change my clothes and change my couches and who I'm supposed to date. You gotta cut that fucking umbilical cord and treat every goddamn person the way you see fit. And the last thing I want to say is this. I always tell you guys about the 3 fucking laws. First is the law of the land. That means don't kill no one or you're going to jail. The law of the street. If the sign is 35 miles an hour and you're driving 60 and you get pulled over, that's on your fucking ass. And last but not least, the law of the job. Go to work and do what you're supposed to. But outside those 3 fucking laws, you can create whatever the fuck you want to create for your goddamn selves. God damn it, Rolo got me excited and fired up.
Shout out to Chris Von Erich with the $20 super chat. He says, Rolo, you earned the super chat. Thank you guys for the information. Keep going. Street Walking Cheetah with a $10 super chat says, for Rolo's righteous rant, thank you. Rodrigo Castillo said, it's like the same thing with the pills that doctors prescribe. The placebo effect to trick the mind that they work. All right, we got 3 more callers in the queue. 910, you're up next. 562, you're right after that. 402, you're going to be after that. Let's go to area code 910. You are on live with the Redman Group. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. HDJ here. It's raining, so I'm not on the bike. But
okay. Good stuff, man.
Two quick comments real quick. I think, this ties in perfectly to, hypergamy. Obviously, I mean, that's kind of how we all got here and all this. But when it comes to BPD, I think the blue pill side of this is an excuse for a man, just like what Steve's saying, hey, be a fucking man, they're going to fucking take what they can get. Right. And then the fucking red pill side of that is it's an excuse for a woman because fucking they know that they've met their match. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into also all these other things where you have, females that are out there, once something bad happens, they use, like sexual assault and some of the, don't get me wrong. There are probably true cases of diagnosed BPD and things like that. But when it comes to, how people use shit as an excuse, just like with putting little boys on fucking Adderall and shit like that, So, I mean, I think personally, those comments of, BPD being kind of like just an excuse is kind of where I'm coming from. And the other thing that I'd like to say is, going back to that caller that called in about that, or that member in the chat asking about the fucking benefits. I mean, shit. Then Rolo, I don't know why Carhartt hasn't called you, for sponsorship, for your beanies, and
I love it.
And fucking, Lake Cruzette over there for fucking, for
It'd be
Ryan
perfect.
and,
It'd be
the
perfect.
Eagles. You know what I mean? So fuck that shit, man. It's all fucking relevant. It's all about being a man, and it's all about fucking waking the fuck up. That's all I got.
That's interesting. You should say that too. It's like I'm very careful about like who I would like co-brand with. I don't have an endorsement with Tactical Soap. It's not like I wouldn't do it. It's just that I don't have one. But I'm very careful of who I have to be. And Pat Campbell jumps on me this all the time. He says you need to be careful who you associate with. I go, yeah, you're right. But like for instance, like if I like Carhartt, if I wanted, like, hey, I'd be open to that. But like you have to understand this, and this goes back to what Tommy's question is that think about how many companies or how many people who have a business are willing to take a chance on the Manosphere, are really actually willing to put money on the line, to put their brand reputation on the line to be associated with the red pill. Not many at all. And that's why I was saying, like I was getting behind, what is it, Body Barber during the Gillette thing. And I was getting behind those guys, and it was okay for a while. They sent me something, but then I find out that they're really just drop shippers and they're just kind of shipping you like Chinese stuff, right? Okay, fine, no big deal. But I had to be very careful about who I associate with, and I think other people have to do that as well. It's like you guys don't understand. Like every month, I have people hit me up and ask me to put their ads or to do a guest post or something on the Rational Mail, and I've turned down every single one for the past 8 years now, and I'm never going to do it.
We're getting to the point where we have to like protect ourselves. Like we can't just put our stamp of endorsement on everything. So I think the caller brought up a good point. But yeah, I mean, like especially it deters from you actually helping people to, hey, help me make money.
Right. Speaking of which, shout out to Guy Wilson Mendez with the $20 super chat. Keep the super chats coming. 914-205-5356 is the number to call. Let's go to area code 562. You're on live with the Red Man Group. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Damien from Long Beach, California.
What's up, brother?
Okay, first of all, I want to make a comment to Rolo. Rolo, I read your book, The Rational Male. That is going to be the end of the feminist movement. You mark my words. You heard it here first. That was an excellent book that you wrote, my friend.
I hope so. Yes.
Okay, so getting to my question. Okay, I'm as a black man. Okay, living in California. I want to direct this question to Donovan and Steve directly. Okay, from grown ass black man to grown ass black men. Okay, the women that I have dated, all of them that had borderline personality disorders. Every single situation, the reason why they had borderline personality disorders is because they've been raped, molested as children. They've been abused,
90 seconds.
mentally abused, emotionally abused, physically abused, you name it. Every single woman without fail.
Yep.
Question to both of you brothers is why in the hell is American Psychology Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the National Mental Institute for Health, and also the mainstream media, why do they not discuss the origins of why these women are so fucked up with the borderline personality disorder?
60 seconds.
Year-old black man living in California, and I have never, ever dated a woman who's had a father in their lives, or who has not had any type of those traumatic issues as child victimization, grow up to have borderline personality disorders. Not yet to this day. So why is the mainstream media and the APA and the American Psychiatric Association, why are they covering this up? What the fuck is the agenda? And Rolo, if you can comment, put your 2 cents on that too, since you have a background in psychology.
Yeah, for me, I'll do the psychology to Rolo because that's his expertise. My thing is this, man. I don't give a fuck what the National Guard or the National Choir or all these other places say. The bottom line is it's about me at the end of the day. I'm selfish, conceited, and cocky, and I'm arrogant, and I'm narcissistic. But what I'm just saying is this, man. The problem that you're doing is, and this gonna sound mean and shit, but you got to throw them bitches back in the water. I don't care if I'm with a woman and she's like, Uncle Johnny, push up, I'm done. I'm not wasting my time. And that's one thing you're doing, young man. What you're doing is you gotta unpack the past. Don't live in the past. I don't give a fuck about her past. I'm gonna either stay in the present or in the future. Meaning this is what I expect of you. Submit, serve, shut the fuck up, and fuck. And have intercourse with me. Sorry, Ryan. and do that, and do that. But what I'm saying is this, man. This is the problem you're having. You're worried too much about them and not about you. What do you want, my king? What do you want these women to be, my king? I don't care what they bring to your table. It is up to you whether you take them in or you throw them back in the water. So I'm just saying, cut out the victim talk and be more like, look, this is what I expect of them. They came with this stuff about Uncle Johnny. I threw them away. How do I go about finding the next woman? Then you and I are on the same page. Go ahead, Donovan. You up, fam?
Yeah, caller. Let me ask you one quick question. This is just a yes or no question, and then I'll get to your answer. You said you're a black man. Have you ever dated outside your race?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and so this problem with BPD and I was raped and all this other kind of stuff, this crosses racial lines, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay,
but it's mostly going. Most of this stuff has gone on with in the most part, like I said, I've dated all across the board, but most of the issues I've dealt with, when I've dated was with black women.
Well, that's because most women, it would seem that way because most women that you have dated have been black women. But I don't think this is a racial issue. I think this is definitely a female issue. Here's the thing, dude. To answer your question, it's not about the why. It's about the what. Okay, so a girl was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Does it really matter why, what caused it? And at that point, that's got nothing to do with you. Okay. Now listen, if she has BPD and she's fucked up mentally, hey, listen, I feel sorry for you. Like you have mental problems, but that's not my problem. Okay. Here's another thing that you need to really, really understand. Steve already said it. The minute a woman says to you, I was raped, you need to hit the eject button. Because we all know that a lot of women, they make a lot of false rape accusations. Even more women lie about the fact that they were raped, right? Real quick game tip. If a girl says, well, I was raped, really, how much time did he get? That shuts that shit down immediately. Then you figure out whether she's bullshitting you or not, irregardless of whether she's telling the truth or whether she's lying. As soon as the words, I was raped, comes out of a woman's mouth, she is radioactive. Forget it. Listen, I don't care how good she looks. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Now, women who are truly raped, it's a terrible experience. And women never get over that. They can never be in healthy relationships of consequence. Again, I feel sorry for you, baby girl. It's not my problem. I'm not going to make your problems my problem. So again, it's not about the why. It's about the what. I talked about this last week when everybody wanted to know, well, what's going on with Richard Cooper and Anthony? Listen, it's not about the why, it's the what. Richard and Anthony split. That's all you need to know. The show goes on. The only reason you want to know the why is out of morbid curiosity. So by asking yourself, well, why are these women being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder? Why are all these women being raped? That doesn't matter. Just like Steve says, what matters is you. And again, and one more thing. Most women use the I was raped thing, whether they're lying or telling the truth, as an excuse for their fucked up personality. Well, it turns out that my boyfriend calls me, BPD. Oh, really? Yeah, but I was raped. No. This is like women using their period as an excuse to act like a bitch. It's not about the why. It's about the what. You best believe that if Devin disrespects me in any way, I'm going to come at her with the fury of 1,000 fucking suns. I don't care what time of the month it is. So when a woman says that she was raped or that if you find out that she has BPD, guess what? You got to get the fuck out of there. It's not about the why. It's about the what. All right.
Yeah, I just want to address what the caller said as well. I have my bachelor's in science in psychology, and the reason I did not push forward with getting my master's and my PhD as my original plan, it's just simple as this. There is not any profitability in curing these women, but to tell them that there's something wrong with them and then drug them up with prescription drugs. If you do your research, Look at who's consuming all of the prescription drugs in America. In addition,
women.
Look who is abusing prescription drugs the most. It is not men. It is women. There is no money in the cure. There is money in the medicine. If you don't think that fucking this shit doesn't run that deep and that evil, you know, you trust in this establishment and you trust in the government and the media and shit way too much. And this whole thing, America, the cesspool of fucking shitty parenting and all these new girls that are coming up broken as fuck. This all happened because men collectively, slowly but surely, let this shit happen. Let me tell you something. People want to call Japanese guys pussies, whatever. Bitches don't talk back to their Japanese guy because he will be ice cold and replace her with the quickness. And these girls, they know. There's a reason why these girls are all beautiful, because Japanese dudes
ain't having it.
They ruthless body standards. Ruthless. After a girl is 25, the wall is 25 in Japan, guys. Hey. If a girl is not ready, if she's not married by 25, like Donovan said, they call her Christmas cake. Why is she called Christmas cake? Because nobody wants any fucking Christmas cake in Japan. It's down to the guys, all right? It's down to the fucking guys. If you don't man up, if nobody fucking mans up, shit will get worse. So you either enjoy the decline or you stand up. And it starts with some bitch treating you like shit at the bank. If she's a bank teller, she's nasty to you, or some bitch on the street. Then just walk away, man. Either you walk away or you check that bitch right then and there. That's how we got to this thing. This is a snowball effect of many years. And I can guarantee Donovan and Rollo, these older gentlemen on the panel, I can guarantee you that these guys have seen how guys have become bigger and bigger pussies over the decades. Am I wrong?
Not at all.
You're right.
Quick thing though, super chats here, stepping on Donnie's toes from Rob Brown, $5. Women love strong men for the same reason blue pill men like controlling women. Each have a means to shift responsibility for their bad choices.
Oh, that. Oh, wow. That's profound. I like that.
And then, so final question. Turns out we have a very special caller who's called in. A man with a beanie that's very close to my heart. Fellow psychologist, Rollo, I hear you got something here for the panel.
I got a couple of things. Yeah, I got a question, but before I jump into it, I just wanted to answer the caller's question about the APA. Right now, the APA is completely owned by ideologues. Okay. And those ideologues only care about the feminine imperative. They only care about a feminine primary, gynocratic, gynocentric society. And if you look at when that came down, the ruling about traditional masculinity being the official bugbear of psychologists right now. I mean, Dr. Sean Smith had actually a couple of really good videos on the APA ruling about traditional masculinity being like toxic or being bad. That's just one indicator of where the APA is. It's no longer about science, it's about ideology. And Sean was saying the same thing. So why do we not address things like what Jonathan was saying, the prescription drug abuse in women? Why do we not? Why is it that women are prescribed more antidepressants than at any other time than any other demographic right now? Why is that? Why is it that BPD is a thing and the APA sweeps it under the carpet, particularly when it comes to women? And why is it that they speak up and they expect certified APA psychologists to believe and to support the idea that traditional masculinity is bad? Why? Because they are ideologues. If you go and you look at the people who wrote up the dissertation or whatever for the APA ruling about traditional masculinity. I mean, you look at some of these psychologists who are the presidents of the APA, and it's like one of them. Her name is like Wisdom Powell or something like that.
Black woman?
She is a black woman, and she is like she's like a voodoo priestess.
Oh my
God. and is exactly what you would expect a black woman psychologist to look like. That's her. These are the people that are making the decisions for the rest of the psychological practices if you want to be a board certified APA psychologist. So it's all about ideology, and it's one indication of a larger problem, which is that leftist thinking, progressive leftist thinking, I don't want to say social justice, of course, but like also gynocratic thinking, ideologies has now infiltrated and completely assimilated academia. Okay, so like even the hard sciences right now, you don't get published unless what it is that you're publishing toes the social justice byline. Okay, you simply are unrecognized anymore. That's why I have a really tough time when people like post these. Oh well, look, Rollo, here's a study proving that ovulatory shift is bullshit, right? I'm like, well, when was it produced? Oh, in the last couple of years. Yeah, fuck you. Okay, because what I'm seeing here is it's all based on ideology rather than hard science. So until we can ferret out this gynocratic, gynocentric ideologues, I guess, out of academia, then I'm going to be skeptical on a lot of things going forward, particularly the APA. So that's to answer your question. Now, finally, the last question I have for you guys here is this: is like I get this a lot, and we can sort of pass this one around. On my post about borderline personality disorder, I kind of go into the details of like what my experience was with one. I 100% agree with the panel here. Is like, you know, had I been a more alpha guy at the time, had I had the capacity to walk away, things would have been a whole lot different. Okay, I would not have had the experience that I did. I forget the saying is something like anything you can't say no to makes you its slave. Like that guy we showed at the restaurant table just a minute ago. That guy is a slave of that chick because he can't say no to her. He can't get away. He can't pull himself away. But here's the thing: is like one of the most common questions I'm asked in that post is this: is like, can I manage a BPD? Because the sex is crazy good, right? So all I got to do in this case, according to everybody on the panel, is just to alpha up and to be a hard ass and to have my pimp hand, you know, at the ready. And all I have to do is manage her, and then I have access to the craziest, greatest sex I've ever, porn star sex, whenever I want it. Should I not then is it not then in the best interest of an alpha guy to get involved with a BPD and deal with that? And just like, because the sex is going to be greater than just your average chick, because she's crazy in bed and she's crazy out of bed. So the question I have is, can you manage a BPD woman? Should you manage a BPD?
Go ahead, Steve, you got it.
Okay, my question is can you manage yourself first? You can.
Well, let's just say that's the baseline. Like, yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay,
guys,
well, my thing is this, and like I said earlier in this, whether she's BPD or not, she doesn't go to her job and do that to the CEO, vice president, or CFO of the company, because they do the one thing that most men don't do. Most men don't have legacy statements. They don't have models, principles, or narratives like a company does that says this is what it's going to be like when you're with the company. Most men don't treat themselves that way. I truly believe. Now, here's my thing. I don't believe in compromises. There are negotiables like steak or chicken, but you never compromise yourself. So if you're with a woman that is like that, now again, here's the problem. I gotta retract what I just said, because I couldn't even imagine somebody look, if she doesn't talk, she's got to talk to me with this tone that I'm speaking right here all the time. She cannot go higher or any other octaves, or she's gonna get a warning and then she's gonna get the boot. She can't put her hands on me unless, like Rollo said, unless it's sexual purposes. She's got to cook, she's got to serve, she's got to submit, she's got to know a place at the table. Now, the problem is that she knows she can't get away with anything with me. So I don't know if it will work with me and someone like that, because she's going to mistake me like what I call the 98% of guys out there, the weak guys out there. And that's her greatest mistake. Now, if I nip it in the bud real quick, I'm going to hurry it up. If I nip it in the bud real quick and she modifies the behaviors and still respects me as a man, yeah, I'll have her facing a pillow and her ass, or excuse me, her hiney up in the air. Sorry, Ryan. Have her hiney up in the air.
Too late.
It's too late. Yeah. Well, fuck it. I'll have her facing a pillow and her ass up in the air. But like I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I don't think it can be done because I don't have the time nor the patience to put up with somebody who doesn't know that it's all about motherfucking Steve.
I just want to say we really appreciate the super chats because this video will definitely be demonetized.
I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, you ain't the only one that swore. John, I think you're up next.
Sorry, I kind of lost track there reading all these chats. Well,
all right, well, I'll go next. I'll go next. The question is can you manage a BPD woman? And even if you think
should you manage? Should you?
No, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no. That's my answer. We're already demonetized. So just to make it clear, fuck no. Next.
Okay, so the answer to this question, my answer is definitely no. But here's the thing: there's a caveat. Okay, again, crazy pussy is good pussy. So if you meet a chick who's showing signs of BPD, signs of psychosis, and all that other kind of crazy shit, listen, fuck her, but don't fuck her for longer than a week. Because if you go any longer than a week, one of two things will happen. She'll either look for another target because you have shown her, you've given her boundaries that you're not having it, or you'll be more susceptible to getting got. This isn't to say that even a red pill, a super hardcore crimson, black pill, red pill aware guy can't get involved with a BP chick and manage her, but you can't have feelings involved. If you're fucking her once a week and you keep her at a distance, that's how you manage that. The only way you can manage a BPD chick is only if you're fucking her, and you shouldn't even do that. You shouldn't even do it for that long. Listen, you can work in a radioactive plant or whatever the fuck they do for so long before you catch some of that radiation. You're going to make yourself susceptible to that. Just like fuck buddies. The longer you sleep with a woman, the more susceptible you are to catch feelings. Okay. And when you catch feelings for a BPD chick, she has her in with you. So the answer is emphatically no. You fuck her, you fuck her, you chuck her, you pass them to the homies. Just like I forget who said it best. If it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. Do not catch feelings for a BPD chick. You cannot manage them in a relationship.
100%. Quick shout out to Chris German, $20 Canadian. I think that's 6 cents American. Have watched every Red Man Group episode, but never caught one live. Time for a super chat. Want to thank you very much. How's it going, 80 the Canadian? Love it. Answer your question, Rolo. I think it's the red pill cooking video I just did, technique. We had a conversation on the Married Red Pill over it, and I think it's the perfect answer to your question. If you watch that video, I have a $10 cheap IKEA knife and one of those Henkel ceramic knife sharpeners. Now, if you guys don't know, those things beat the crap out of knives. I'm getting to the point. Bear with me here. They beat the crap out of the knives. And if you don't know, cheap IKEA's knives are soft steel and they wear down fast. So when I'm showing the video, I'm like, this is how you cut potatoes. This is how you cut onions. This is how you cook food in what order. And I'm using it as a parallel to this is how you use like rule 1 from your iron rules, or how you use, what is that you call them again there, John? It's ejaculate and evacuate.
That's right, baby. Get the fuck out of there.
All of these red pill concepts are all discrete little tools that you can use depending on the situation. And so one guy starts arguing with me. Well, I started to cry because if you get a really expensive knife and then use a whetstone and then this and then that, and you bring up all these things I could do to fill my closet full of honing blades and all this crap, spend a ton of money. I'm like, look, this is a metaphor. I just want to eat. And this is the most effective way for me to get there. This $10 knife, I will use it up. And once it becomes warped because I'm beating the crap out of it with this sharpener, I will go get another one. And I think that's a perfect example of purple pill, children with dynamite. So should I have to put up with it? No. That's the whole point. None of this. And this is the best part, because as you get better at dealing with it, it'll come up in your life less. So you won't have to. It's like fighting. That's my answer for that one. No. And let's make an omelet.
All right. Good stuff, man.
All right. So that's we had to cut off 2 callers. Apology, guys. We're really trying to get to everybody, but there's so much interest in this stuff that we can't possibly do it. We're going to end off a quick 30 seconds to a minute of everybody here. What's the most recent call to action you want to give to the guys? Donnie, lead us off on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to have my girlfriend Devin on to do another interview with me at 4:00 Eastern time. This is actually going to be a very interesting discussion because she's going to talk about some of the not so great things about being with a guy like me. So you're going to hear the other side. Yes, red pill aware women, when they get with red pill guys, their lives are all rosy and sunshine. No, it's not all sunshine and puppies.
Ronnie.
February 28th, Body Language Mastery is coming out. You can only get into my program for 5 days. February 28th, March 1st, March 2nd, March 3rd, and March 4th. If you go to modernlifedating.com/body language, it includes a 1 hour plus course, weekly webinars for question and answer sessions for the entire course, and a private men's only community where we can discuss everything going forward. Finished.
What about you, Rollo?
All right. Is that going to be free?
Hey, Rollo, for you, baby, it is. For you, it is free.
Because I don't know, maybe that should be free.
They should, Rollo, you could totally get in and be an admin. For everybody else, it's $297.
There we go. I was gonna say, okay, I'm gonna throw this out there because I think I'm the only guy on this panel that is going to be speaking at the 21 convention in May. That is going to be the May 3rd through the 5th. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida. I can't tell you. Well, you'll be there, but you won't be talking. And so if you want to get tickets, the registration is, I think early bird might have ended already, but you can go find registration and tickets on my site. It's the lead off post on therationalmail.com right now. Please use that because that's my affiliate link. So go and register through that. I think that's going to be a really fantastic convention. It's something that we haven't done before. I'm looking forward to doing some sort of like specialized conventions. I think I've been bouncing ideas off of Anthony about maybe even doing an all game convention at some point too.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Or adding more like one of the reasons I like the 21 convention, the main convention, is because we have guys from all walks of life. So but this one is more like focused for the father, for the guy who has been divorced, for the guy who is like reinserting himself back into the sexual marketplace after that divorce, like maybe a middle-aged guy, a guy who wants to be a red pill parent, a guy who wants to be a parent or is already a parent and wants to find ways to, to raise their kids in a red pill manner and defend their children against the village. Okay, that I'm just going to leave it at that. Go ahead and check that out. There's lots of information on that. Tomorrow I will be doing Red Pill 101 with Pat Campbell. We're going to be talking about the friend zone tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in intersexual friendships, that's going to be your discussion right there. I don't do calls, but I do take questions from the chat, so we can do that for sure if that's what you want to talk about. And yes, to answer everybody's question, I will be doing religion and red pill this week as well. I might do it tomorrow morning because it seems like Sunday would be the right time to do it, right? But it will be like check within the next 24 hours, and I'll announce when the time is for religion and the red pill. So that's what I got going.
All right, what about you, Steve?
Yeah, with Rollo, I'm gonna be there with Rollo and friends in May as well. I love that. Rollo's my dog, man. I love that boy, man. That's my dog. But no, I just want to say that yeah, me too. And I'm thinking about doing something special for you guys. If y'all go to the Man Mindset, if y'all join and get sign up to go to this this convention that we're having in May. I'm thinking about having dinner or something with y'all as a special thank you or something like that. So that's something I'm working on right now, but more details later. But I just want to say real quick, Jonathan, I think Jonathan, you good to go at the top of the hour? Okay, yeah, yes. So yeah, we're gonna because Donovan, please, hey, Donovan, you can come on and we can do it in an hour. Please do as and Rollo and Ryan, please come on if y'all like. We're gonna sit and chop it up and we're gonna talk more on this and we're gonna cuss. We're gonna let our hair down. I'm sorry. We kind of got out of hey, I'm gonna blame Rollo. Rollo's usually like, hey, Rollo
fired it up, man.
Rollo's usually this. Hold on, let me show Rollo. Hold on. Rollo's usually, yo, man. Hey, man, you know the rational male is, you know, but today was like Rollo's like, look here, bitch, don't you fuck with me. I'm Rollo, goddamn Tomasi, motherfucker. So he got me all excited and shit. So hey, look here, I'm gonna be a victim. I'm blaming Rollo. It's Rollo and friends.
I'm glad I could get you fired up today.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes. Top of the hour, guys.
It's not anger, it's a righteous anger.
There you go.
Real quick about that dinner, Steve. You and I are going to do a steak dinner when we get down there. So, we can actually package this. Hey, dinner with Donovan. Why not?
Yeah, I should throw that out there. Thanks for reminding me that there's going to be like all kinds of other workshops and stuff that are going on that are going to be outside of the main convention too. You don't just go to this just to hear a bunch of guys talk on a stage. There's like there's all kinds of things that are going on around that. So check in and get the information about that. There's dinners, there's VIP dinners, there's like just, hey, let's just go hang out sometimes. Like there might be unscheduled events that you don't even know about. And it's just like dudes getting together and just hanging out. Shit, half of the time we had like at the last, and in October, most of the conversations I had was just sitting around a, you know, breakfast table or a dinner table or some shit like that. And people coming up to you and asking you, and you just sort of have these sort of impromptu conversations. That's another part of, that's another aspect of what you're getting out of this whole thing. So
dude, I
keep
think
that in mind.
That's the best part. So I guess I'll end off with mine. I guess we're all going to ride John hard and put him away wet after he's done with your after party. I'm stealing him for the Redman recap. Starts at 3 o'clock.
Oh,
Everybody who signed up to Patreon will get your live showing of that. It'll be released afterwards. I am going to pick your educated psychology brain here and get to this BPD thing once and for all. And so, Rollo, feel free to take us out on this one. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Cool. Sounds good. I am going to go snowmobile now. See you guys.
Yes.